Oh, 9 minutes left in the show.
Yeah, we got a little bit.
Yeah, 8:55, 54. We could just count down the clock for the rest of the show, not take any other callers.
Oh, that would be so trolling.
Like, it would be on par with a lot of other public access television. But as the consistent winner of Best Public Access Television Show in Austin, we strive to do a little better. So we're going to go to Chris in Ohio. How you doing?
Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Can I talk about the word theory?
Oh, of course.
There's a handful of English words in the English dictionary that if you look up, you'll see that their multiple definitions are in opposites of one another. They're diametrically opposite. For example, the verb to dust, that can mean to add dust or to subtract dust. Overlook is a great example. Overlook can mean to not see anything. Oh, I overlooked that. I'm sorry. It can also mean to stand on a mountain and look down and overlook everything.
You've written all this down, haven't you?
Yeah, are you prepping for yuck yucks? Because I'm pretty sure some of these bits have been done.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The word theory fits into this situation because it has conflicting definitions. It
Agreed.
can mean idle speculation, pure conjecture. It's my theory it's going to be an interesting day. It's the layman's way. But
Yep.
there's the scientific and the mathematical definition, which is the opposite, which is a hypothesis that has stood the test of time. Albert Einstein's two theories and the theory of evolution. When a scientist uses the word theory, they are denoting something that they believe to be true. Correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So when a person in the public domain, like Pat Robertson, who's really not that bright, and you've got, Ron Paul, who's really bright, and they're both in the public domain, going around saying, it's just a theory, evolution is just a theory. I suggest that they are using the less rigorous definition to justify their claim that it's just a theory.
Yes.
Right, so it's up to the job of the scientist to delineate the definition. The moment the scientist opened up his mouth and said string theory, he abandoned the rigorous definition, and now he's using the word to mean idle speculation.
You're
String theory
really
is mathematical masturbation. There are no measurements, right? No measurements with string theory, correct?
I'm just letting you go because you seem to be really passionate about saying things that are.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you letting me vent. Really, I do.
Well,
you're almost done venting, especially if you go back to Ron Paul.
But anyway.
I'm not going to go back to Ron Paul. I'm saying that this is the scientist's fault.
No.
The moment they opened up their mouth and said string theory, they abandoned their definition.
I agree with you that in that case, the confusion over theory exists. It is not the scientist's fault. There may be scientists who contributed.
It is definitely the scientist's fault because they need to delineate.
You're done.
Yeah.
It is not the scientist's fault. There are scientists who have contributed to this confusion over the term, and there are laymen who have contributed to this confusion over the term. Maybe we need a better term, but part of this comes down to dictionaries aren't authorities that define words. They are, they describe usage, and there are two usages of it. There's a number of different words like that, as you pointed out. I find it, I understand that you're passionate about this and you'd prefer that we were more careful with our terminology. But as long as there are buffoons out there who still think we live on a flat frickin' earth and deny the fact of evolution, I'm pretty sure that trying to get them to use the right word when they're talking about it is kind of a secondary issue. But thanks for calling.
Yeah. There is a very lucrative creationism industry that also makes damn sure that the scientific understanding of what the word theory means is not understood by the general public.
I love that, it's the scientist's fault. Hello, there are scientists.
I've seen the movie A Flock of Dodos, and one of the points that movie makes is, which is a very fun documentary to watch, but it's that in terms of the whole winning hearts and minds and communicating to the great unwashed sort of thing, the scientific community has somewhat tripped up on that. They don't seem to be as good communicatures as the Pat Robertsons.
But the scientific community isn't perfect. And
that's true.
So, so it's the scientist's fault. You're exaggerating. You're overreaching. Look that one up too.
Alrighty.
Erik in Columbia, how you doing?
Hey man, I'm doing great. How you guys doing?
We're good.
Oh,
good. Hey,
not bad.
Listen, I stumbled on your show about a week ago or so, and I watched several episodes on YouTube. I absolutely love it. So I was really excited to get a chance to call in. I'm going to go ahead and apologize in advance. I don't have as much energy as the last guy. So
No, that's fine. We're winding down. You've got like 2 minutes.
He
I
wore us out.
apologize.
Yeah, I tell you, boy.
All right. Well, I'll try to make this quick. Basically, I'm a Christian, and but I didn't call to talk about or to argue about Christianity or not. What I wanted to bring up was, I guess recently, about a month ago or so, I discovered, much to my horror, that a large part of the Christian community still embraces young Earth creationism, and it's not like I used to think that it was a fringe group of old Baptists that used to still buy into this, but I could not believe that I actually had a friend of mine that was my age trying to convert me to believing into this stuff. Just the other day.
That the Earth was created after the invention of beer. Yeah.
Right.
Well,
No, yeah,
it's. I think that we don't really move in those circles much anymore. But I guess the degree to which the very vocal and very media savvy, biblical literalist, fundamentalist, arch-conservative wing of Christianity is sort of pushing out the. We're a bit more liberal. We're not biblical literalists. We understand that science makes sense. That group of Christians are kind of being steamrolled. And yeah, so it's sort of up to you to kind of stand up to those, the extremists and the nut jobs in your own community.
I can also say, and I apologize, Eric. I don't mean to just straight on go attacking your beliefs. I can tell you why this is, and it's because there are a number of Christians who have come to the understanding that if you don't hold to a literalist view of the Bible, you have no foundation at all. You cannot have salvation without the fall, and the fall requires a literal understanding of Genesis. That's their take on this. And the modern liberal and moderate theists who want to accept science and say, okay, science has come to understand how species evolved and all this other stuff, but we're going to try and work God in there somewhere. That is the exact opposite of science. That is starting with a conclusion and working towards it, and they are jettisoning the very critical aspects of the Genesis story, and that is the fall. If there was no fall, there was no sin, there was no reason for this substitutionary atonement. It all hinges on that.
Yeah, right. I mean, I've heard that exact argument before, and basically, the whole idea of you have to take the Bible all or none, and
So that's what the young Earthers tell you.
And I went with
right,
none.
They do.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, I was absolutely horrified that my daughter, she's 5, went to a vacation Bible school. I presume you guys are familiar with VBS.
Oh yes.
Yeah, some of us actually like VPS.
I went to a few. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, she came home like the first day of VBS with an Answers in Genesis curriculum.
Oh,
and I
boy.
about had a freak out. I'm serious. And so I went down to the church the following day and pulled her out of it. So,
Well, good for you.
Well, that's a good thing. Thumbs up.
I'm as much. Oh, we're out of time. They're putting the credits up. I appreciate your call, and as much as I'd like to, bang on people for believing bad things, at least I must encourage people when they jettison the bad things. Thanks so much for calling. Thanks to everybody who made the show
appreciate
happen.
it.
All the guests from everywhere.
Thanks to our audience
from
all around.
Frisco and Australia, and
Yes, we have
we'll
a
see you in a week.
global group
Russell
here.
will be here.
He will, indeed.
Ciao.
The religion of one age is the literary entertainment of the next.